them to stray away from him for is red flag number 5, and personally my biggest red flag, which is his attitude. Primarily his leadership and maturity. I don't particularly care about what he does off the field, but around the field, you need to conduct yourself a certain way. Something that I would think would be very important when looking for your franchise quarterback is making sure they know how to carry themselves after a tough loss or just during hard times in general. The first example of Williams showing that he might not be ready for the NFL level and the criticisms that come along with it was a game against UCLA on November 18th of last year where they lost 38-20. It wasn't anything that he did on the field, but afterwards he did decline to talk to the media following the loss, which is just something you don't do. From an outsider's point of view, this just makes you seem like a guy who thinks he's a little bit above everybody else, and it's just not the best look. Second example came just 2 weeks prior on November 4th. After a tough loss against Washington, by the way, he played an incredible game in that one, Caleb ran into the crowd and started crying into his mom's arms. Now you can say whatever you want about that, whether it's his passion to win or whatever you want to say. I'm going to tell you what I would expect from a matured 21 to 22-year-old who is ready for the NFL and everything that goes along with it. After that loss to Washington, you go over and shake their hands. Tell them it was a great game and all that. Give them props for how they played. Then you go over, say hi to your family or whatever, but you go to that locker room. And a true leader is going to step up in that situation when everybody's heads are down. And that leader is going to pick the people around him up. It doesn't matter if you lost the game. You let all those guys know in the locker room that they are family and they did everything they could in that moment. You tell them that they will bounce back and be better because of that loss. You learn a lot more from failures in life than wins. Now, if you're just one of those players that are crying in the locker room or on the field in this case, that doesn't make you a leader in my eyes. If he gets to the NFL level and doesn't improve his mental maturity, who in the locker room is going to accept him as a leader if he does that? I mean, these are grown men we're talking about. He was interviewed later on and stated that he acted like that because that's who he is. That was raw emotion, along with stating that he really wanted to get a big win for his teammates. But this was all a bit hypocritical in my eyes because there was a tweet sent out by Robert Griffin III on December 3rd, 2022 about a quarterback named Max Duggan saying, quote unquote, how can you not root for Max Duggan? Max had just lost a huge game and thought TCU's playoff chances were gone, so he was visibly upset and tearing up during the post-game interview. A day later, Caleb then quotes the tweet and says, LOL, seemingly laughing at the fact that Duggan was crying. He later ended up deleting the tweet and said, wasn't laughing at Max D. Happy for him, his journey, his team, and his passion for the school. I feel the same way after we lost this year. That makes no sense at all. Why would you say LOL to that tweet? Laughing out loud that I'm so happy for you, your journey